Good morning, everyone. Gosh, it's Friday and a whole other week has just flown past us. Anyway, this is a chart that I whipped up uh, 20 years ago, probably 21 years ago by the time it was finished. Now, it's a chart that I whipped up to explain or to demonstrate all of the spirits that are assigned to the small cards of the tarot. And you see the cards there. And then there's Goetic spirits and the angels of the Shemhamferish, angels of the Decans, archangels, angels, uh, rulers by day, rulers by night, and everything else. Now, what I've got circled there is for a class. I wanted to show all of the spirits inherent in a particular tarot card. And the card that I wanted to illustrate was the Six of Wands. Now, today's card is actually the Two of Swords, I believe. So that would be all that information for the Two of Swords would also be found there. But those are the Goetic spirits, the angels of the Shemhamferish, and the days of the year that this covers. And that's the planetary and zodiacal assignment. So during that class, and the only reason I'm bringing this up today is because I ran across in my bag of consecrated talismans the talisman that I made along with everyone in Monday night class made a talisman too. This is sort of my homemade talisman for the six of wands. So there's the divine name, and there's the Goetic spirit's name, and various other names. There's the back of it. And sealed inside is my very sloppy versions of the, that's my printing too. Talk about demonic, huh? But anyway, I thought I'd just share that this morning. Also, if you're more interested in this chart, I've put a PDF of it on my Facebook page. You just scroll down a little bit and you'll find that this morning. So that's, I hope you enjoy it or can use that. Anyway, we are on the Emerald Tablet of Hermes and the invocation of the Holy Guardian Angel. And yesterday, I'm going to back up just a paragraph to get us started. The Holy Guardian Angel is more than the projected image of our perfected self or the voice of our conscience. It is more than the innocent inherent knowledge between right and wrong. It is more than the divine ear that hears us when we look to heaven and pray, "Oh God, if you just get me out of this, I'll never do anything so stupid again." But what that more than is difficult to discuss. Get your angel and have him explain, seems to be the thrust of Abramelon's advice. And in the final analysis, it's probably the wisest counsel. Nevertheless, since knowledge and conversation of the Holy Guardian Angel is of such supreme importance to the spiritual career of the aspirant, it might be helpful to see how the concept might be more clearly illustrated. To do this, I will briefly review basic Kabbalistic principles as they relate to the fundamental document of Hermeticism, the Emerald Tablet of Hermes. And the footnote to that is the Emerald Tablet of Hermes, by tradition, the first revelation of God to man. The Emerald Tablet is said was said to be 2,000 years old. Excuse me. 2,000 years old at the time of Christ. Reportedly cast in liquid emerald by alchemical means, its raised letters outlined in 13 short sentences the universal operation of the cosmos. Authorities may debate the historic veracity of the legend. I bet. But the document stands as the consummate distillation of Hermetic thought, outlining not only the process of transmutation of base metals, but also the regeneration and the liberation of the human soul. The versions I use for the purpose of this essay are those of Manly Palmer Hall's Last Keys of Freemasonry and Albert Pike's Morals and Dogma. Now, each chapter starts off with a quote from the Emerald Tablet, sort of in the classic sense there. Now, there's a lot of illustrations that go with this, and of course this will be a challenge with me reading it to you every morning. So I greedily encourage you to buy Angels, Demons, and Gods of the New Millennium to take advantage of the convenience of having these diagrams at your fingertips. The secret work, Hiram Telat Mesalat, or Hiram, the universal agent, one in essence, but three in aspects. Now, that one in essence and three in aspects, of course, would bring to mind to the Kabbalist the supernal triad on the tree of life. Just saying. Starts off A. And this is a quote from the Emerald Tablet, verse 1. It is true, and no lie, certain, and to be depended upon, that the superior agrees with the inferior, and the inferior with the superior, to effect that one truly wonderful work. It is written in Genesis 1:27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created they them. The Sefer Zenioitha, that's spelled D-T-Z-E-N-O-I-O-U-T-H-A, that was translated and called the Kabbalah Unveiled by MacGregor Mathers. It tells us that before there was equilibrium, countenance beheld not countenance. The lesser countenance is manifested and is not manifested. That's what it says. The lesser countenance is manifested and is not manifested. When he is manifested, he is symbolized by the letters Yod He Vav He. Now, I'm going to have to remind us that the opening line in the Tao Te Ching says something quite similar. But we'll get into that on my class on next Wednesday night about the abyss. I want to get into it right now, but I can't. I got to do this. Okay. But if you haven't registered for that event, please do. That information's on my site too. Okay. The vast countenance is the macrocosm, the big world, abode of deity and to some extent deity itself. The lesser countenance is the microcosm, the little world, the emanations, the expressions of deity. So one we might say is deity and the other is the expressions of deity. Macrocosm, more or less deity, and microcosm, the expressions of deity. Upon the lowest end of the microcosmic scale is found the material universe and human beings. After balance was achieved early in the creation scenario, these two countenances, the superior and the inferior, beheld or reflected each other. The two Kabbalistic texts quoted above confirm the Emerald Tablet's opening statement and reveal a universe of repeating patterns. Like the keyboard of a piano, the notes that make up the worlds above us have their counterpart in our lower octave. The superior agrees with the inferior, and the inferior with the superior. As above, so below. There are numerous ways the Kabbalistic texts attempt to illustrate the relationship of the macrocosm and the microcosm, some defining the microcosm as all 9 emanations or sephiroth below Kether, the first sephirah crown of the Tree of Life. Some viewing the 10th sephirah, Malkuth, the kingdom, as the microcosm, and the next 6 sephiroth above Malkuth as the macrocosmic world. That's sort of what's convenient for me to work with. It is a curious characteristic of Kabbalistic thought that both of the above definitions and a wide assortment of others can be considered simultaneously true. Keeping the first statement of the Emerald Tablet in mind, we could even venture to say that every plane of existence is a macrocosm in relation to the plane beneath it and a microcosm in relation to the plane above it. For the purpose of this little essay, I will use the terms as they are most commonly applied to modern ceremonial magic. And here I'll give that definition. Microcosm. Characterized by the magical formula of the 4 elements, fire, water, air, and earth. Ruled, vivified, bound together, and separated by the quintessential element spirit. The number 5 is a particularly suitable glyph for the microcosm, for it expresses the magical formula which sustains the elemental world. In the Holy Hebrew alphabet, the number 5 is expressed by the letter He. Macrocosm is characterized by the planetary formula and the number 6. It is graphically illustrated as the sun surrounded by the 6 planets recognized by the ancients, or planetary spheres recognized by everybody. These heavenly wanderers, which travel across the belt of the zodiac, represent a higher order than that of the elemental world, and were seen by the ancients as living components of the body of God. The Hebrew letter enumerating 6 is Vav. Man, slash woman is the highest expression of the microcosm, and God is the highest expression of the macrocosm. To bring the microcosmic five into perfect alignment with the macrocosmic six is the great work accomplished and the spiritual goal of all seekers of enlightenment. Let's start by examining the second statement from the Emerald Tablet. B. There's another little thing, and it's going to be this diagram here. So I want you to look at it. The top big one is the one only thing. And shooting out from that is the only one, and one that says only God. Okay? I'm going to leave that up enough for you to take a screen snap of that if you don't have the book. B. And this is the second verse of the Emerald Tablet. As all things owe their existence to the will of the only one, so all things owe their origin to the one only thing, the most hidden by the arrangement of the only God. The above statement may at first appear to be somewhat redundant description of the powers of deity, but really we are reading about three facets of deity, one in essence, but three in aspect. Just like the supernal triad, I can't believe it. Okay, number one, only one, to whose will all things we owe their existence. So, the only one to whose will all things owe their existence. The second one is the only, one only thing, the most hidden, to whom all things owe their origin, and only God, who appears to have arranged the whole show. So the diagram here, I'm going to read what's in the top big circle. One only thing, the Creator. The sun is its mother, the moon its mother, wind carries it on its wings, spiritus earth is its nurse. Then that one, the only one, it says sustainer. And then only God right there says director. And inside the big thing right there, it just says Father of, and then everything else outside of that big circle. See, it says, this gray area here, it says Father of, and then everything else down here, everything outside of that is all things in the universe. One only thing, the most hidden, is the Creator, hidden and unknowable thing. Its supreme mystery is the secret of how it came forth from negative existence. It contains all things great and small. To see it, know it, even think about it is as impossible as trying to see the back of your own head by turning around. In the Kabbalah, the first Sephirah, Kether, is called Temira de Authikin, or the concealed of concealed. Now, only one is the sustainer, the tuon of the Greeks, or the Tao of Lao Tzu. If one only thing is the power generator, only one is the electricity itself. Only God is the organizer and director of all that one only thing, creates. I'll say that again. Only God, okay, that's the only God, is the organizer and director of all one only thing creates and only one sustains. It's the grand architect of the universe and the only aspect of the universal agent designated God by the Emerald Tablet. Because the superior agrees with the inferior and the inferior with the superior, this thrice great agency is at work in each of us as surely as it is in the dynamics of subatomic particles and the outermost galaxies. Apprehension of this great scheme and the perfect realization of our place in it is the very definition of enlightenment. The sages of India, Tibet, and elsewhere have minutely cataloged the progressive stages of consciousness leading to this supreme attainment. The Kabbalah also dissects the mechanism of creation and expresses the process in the ineffable name of God, Yod He Vav He. Yod is the great Father, is positioned on the tree of life with its tip in Kether and its tail in Hokmah, or its tip in one, its tail in two, representing the first reflection or extension of the One. This act of reflection starts a chain reaction of cosmic events by which Godhead creates the universe from out of itself. He, the Great Mother, resides in the third Sephra, Bina. She receives the infinitely extending Yod, increasing her capacity to enfold in exact proportion to his capacity to unfold. Father Yod and Mother He are co-equal infinities and define the supernal triad of Kether, Hokmah, Bina, through which abstract and unmanifest establishes the primordial patterns that will shape the characteristics of the lower Sephiroth which follow. The union of Yod and He results in the formation of two archetypal offspring, a son who is represented by the letter Vav in the divine name, and a daughter who manifests as the final letter He. When projected upon the tree of life, Son Vav is focused upon the sixth Sephirah, Tifereth, but encompasses Sephiroth 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 in the area of the tree of life. That's Yod He Vav He projected upon the diagram of a single tree of life. Now I bet I lost my place. Okay. The daughter, He Final, is positioned at the 10th and lowest Sephirah, Malkuth, the kingdom, the abode of the material universe, the microcosm, and the isle of spiritual exile of the human soul. Even though Malkuth, and consequently humanity, finds itself at the bottom of the Kabbalistic barrel, it's still a unique and wonderful position, for here at the most remote outpost of the divine empire lies a buried treasure. Because The inferior agrees with the superior. The genetic code of Kether and the entire involving universe sleeps like a dormant seed inside each of us. And it takes a gardener to awaken and germinate this seed. And that gardener is the Vav of the ineffable name, our holy guardian angel. And that's where we'll leave it today. Tomorrow's will be very brief because I also have an interview directly after tomorrow's talk. So I hope I see you tomorrow. I hope you enjoy your master chart. I did it 20 years ago. If you find a typo in degrees or something, give me a break. I was a kid. Okay, enjoy your weekend. Start it right now by being good to yourself. And while you're at it, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.